Holy mother of all that is good and pure. Hey guys, so I just came out of the closing film of this year's London Film Festival, The Tragedy of Macbeth, which is written and directed by one half of the Coen brothers. It's just Joel this time, no Ethan. He's gone solo for this one. And I say written by Joel Coen, it's actually written by some dude called William Shakespeare. Don't know if you've heard of him. But yeah, this is Joel Coen having a crack at Shakespeare, and I gotta say, he bloody crushed it. Admittedly, when it comes to Shakespeare movie adaptations, I'm a little bit hit or miss with them. I'm still waiting for somebody to come along and top what Baz Luhrmann did with Romeo and Juliet, but doesn't seem like that's ever gonna happen. If you were to ask me, I would say that Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet is the definitive Romeo and Juliet film. Macbeth is another one of Shakespeare's properties which has been done countless times, both on stage and in film, which makes sense. The themes are pretty timeless and universal. Power, ambition, betrayal, guilt, madness. Now this might be a bold statement, but I think when film geeks, theatre geeks, and Shakespeare geeks are discussing and arguing over what is the definitive or best version of Macbeth, I think Joel Coen is going to come out on top, or at least he will for me. This is the best version of Macbeth that I have ever seen. And trust me, I have seen a lot of interpretations of it. I was a theatre geek growing up, but I do want to hear from you guys. Have you seen The Tragedy of Macbeth? What did you think of it? Is this the best Macbeth film that you've seen? Whatever you guys have to say about this film, let your voice be heard in the comment section down below. Also help the video out by hitting that thumbs up button, and if you haven't done so already, click the subscribe button. Also, I will be giving my Oscar nomination predictions for The Tragedy of Macbeth after I've given my score at the end of this review, so if you want to find out which nominations I think this film is going to get at the Oscars, be sure to stick around for that. Okay, anybody that went to school in England has probably encountered Macbeth at some point, but for those of you that haven't, here's a quick synopsis. After Macbeth, played in this film by Denzel Washington, receives a prophecy that he will someday become king from three witches, a magnificent free for the price of one performance from Catherine Hunter, he and his wife, Lady Macbeth, played in this film by Frances McDormand, plot to kill King Duncan, played by Brendan Gleeson, so that they can seize power for themselves. That's all you need to know about the plot. And like I said, it's been done many, many times, there's been many different interpretations, but Coen's approach is so refreshingly striking. He manages to breathe new life into the very old source material. There's a real melding of mediums because it has that majestic feel of a film in the grand yet minimal sets from Stéphane Deschamps. His use of cascading columns and sinister arches gives the film a German expressionistic feel. But Coen also adds a lot of theatrical flourishes too. The bellowing curtains in the Macbeth chambers are very reminiscent of the stage, as well as his use of shadows, silhouettes, and a spotlight soliloquy from Banquo. It all adds to this very spooky atmosphere, which is encapsulated by Bruno Delbonnel's visually haunting cinematography. This is one of the best, if not the best, looking film of 2021. It's definitely between this and Dune. Which one do you guys prefer? Let me know in the comment section down below. Shot in striking monochrome and in glorious 4:3 aspect ratio, Delbonnel's cinematography is, in a word, immaculate. From the framing to the lighting to the composition. There are certain shots in this film which I could happily stare at for an hour. It's like appreciating a painting in a gallery. This film is pretty much a work of art. There's so much gorgeous imagery on display. I particularly loved the interpretation of the three witches when Macbeth first meets them. It's one witch, but there's two reflections in the waters, so it looks like three. I just thought that was a very cool way of interpreting it. But not only are the technical elements of this film a triumph, the performances are of the highest caliber too. I mean, talk about a power couple. You've got Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand playing Macbeth and Lady Macbeth, and they are a powerhouse together, a match made in heaven. Denzel's Macbeth has wisps of grey in his beard, he's got visible scars from battle, and his eyes are milky with age, but he's still a towering figure nonetheless. Frances McDormand's cunning Lady Macbeth is very much his equal, if not more so. Two acting legends playing two legendary characters. It's so generous, thank you movie gods, but yeah, they absolutely own these roles. Well done to both of them. And the supporting players are also wonderful. I already mentioned I adored Catherine Hunter as the Three Witches. She kind of reminded me a little bit of Lupita Nyong'o's performances in Us, you know, because she played dual roles of Adelaide and Red. But yeah, Catherine Hunter gets a third personality to interpret, and she really does a good job of embodying 3 different characters in one body. Also, what she does physically in this film is freaky, but I say that with the utmost respect. The way that she can contort her limbs is otherworldly, but also super impressive when you take into account how old she is. Just googling that now, apparently she's 64 years old, so wow. There's great supporting turns from Brendan Gleeson, Harry Melling, Corey Hawkins, Bertie Carvel, and Moses Ingram, but also a shout out to Stephen Root in a short but memorable part as Porter, I believe his character name was. He only has like 1 scene, but he injects some levity into the very bleak story. So let's ask them 3 questions. Firstly, would I watch this again? Oh, for sure. You best believe I'm going to be buying a copy of this film and adding it to the collection and watching it many, many times. Question 2, do I recommend it for you guys? I know Shakespeare films aren't really for everybody, but as a film, there are so many aspects of the Tragedy of Macbeth which are dazzling to experience. The performances, the sets, Carter Burwell's eerie score, the direction, the sound design, the cinematography. Even if Shakespeare isn't your cup of tea, if you even have the smallest appreciation for the craft of cinema, then it is worth watching. It's unlike any Shakespeare adaptation you've seen before, so don't knock it until you try it. So yes, I do recommend it, and if you can watch it in a cinema, do it, because all I'm gonna say is Bruno Deborah now! And third question, what score do I give it out of 10? Joel Coen's The Tragedy of Macbeth is phenomenal across the board. I often struggle with Shakespeare films, but not this one. It was engaging, it was the perfect length, I was never bored, and it does something unexpected and different with the source material. So yeah, I'm gonna give The Tragedy of Macbeth a score of 10 out of 10. What a cracking film to finish the London Film Festival on this year. Alright, let's talk about them Oscar nominations, because I can foresee The Tragedy of Macbeth being a real player next year. The no-brainer nominations are Denzel Washington for Best Actor, Frances McDormand for Best Actress, but she might go Best Supporting Actress, but either way, she's getting nominated. Cinematography for Bruno Del Bonnell, Production Design for Stéphane Deschamps, and Best Picture. Those are the nominations I'm certain this film will secure. The other highly likely nominations are Best Director for Joel Coen, Best Sound, Best Score for Carter Burwell, and Best Editing for Joel Coen and Lucian Johnston. Those are the categories which I feel this film are very likely to be nominated, but there's a chance they might not be, but we'll just wait and see. And the other maybe nominations are Best Supporting Actor for Corey Hawkins, Best Supporting Actress for Catherine Hunter, Best Costume Designs for Mary Zophres, and also Makeup and Hair. Those are my early Oscar nomination predictions for The Tragedy of Macbeth, but as always guys, it's just one bloke's opinion. I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you think this film is going to be heavily nominated at the Oscars? If so, what categories is it going to get nominated for? And do you think it's going to win any? Whatever you have to say, let your voice be heard in that comment section down below. If you guys have enjoyed this video, help support the channel by hitting the thumbs up button. For more movie, TV, and Oscars related content, don't forget to click subscribe, and if you want to follow me on my socials, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, all those links in that video description down below. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. For more things related to movies, TV, the Oscars, and popcorn culture, I'm Luke Airfield, and I'll see you next time.